Hey guys, how's it going? July 28th, 8:46 p.m. We're about 4 minutes away from starting Barstow up again. Tonight, I know I've done one of these already from the trim perspective, but I figured I'd do it again where we are now. Because we got a fair amount to do tonight, so got probably a good couple hours, I would imagine. Not sure though. Where we stand in things. Whoops. I gotta change something here. I forgot to take my 80 minutes off a hump from the other night. So what that does, that brings that down. I don't know why I forgot that, but it happens. Should bring it down once it's done thinking. So we got 3 trains set to hump tonight. Wow, this thing's taking forever. Did I screw something up? No, there, just did it. Okay. And I'll submit another response. This time Barstow trim. Keep this one set up. That one can go. I think we're okay there. Should be good. Mikey's in the hump, ready to go. And I guess I should get going. Get my butt down here, see what's going on. Alright. What was that? Oh, that's just the plant in the middle. That's the trim plant. I got the volume too high again. That makes myself think. Decided we were going to hump that one, but we actually want to deal with San Diego. Oh wait, yeah, we're going to see what's going on here. I got to see what's going on. South 5's available again. Did I already set that? I did. The other's North 4. So I gotta deal with both of them if I can. Otherwise that's overfilling, and so will the other one. Everything else should be fine. That'll live. Okay, we already set that up the other night, so I gotta go into 107, 112. 107, 112. strategic decision as far as which one to hump first, or which one to trim first, I should say. Normally you'll get instructions in, because we were doing it, I didn't put any instructions down because I knew pretty much we were going to be doing it tonight. So, of course, as always, once you guys are comfortable, we had a couple trainees the other night. This weekend, I'm probably not going to be available. This should clean up the yard pretty good. Let's get us back to where we were while we're flying over. Kind of cheating. Alright. So, just to take a quick look here, we know we're doing 107 and 112, and we can't rush, or sorry, we can't take too much time. What I want to do is get the north yard stuff, which is north 4 first, and then I'm going to tack on to 112. So I want to do 107, then 112. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to be communicating what's happening. The reason why I take 107 first is because then 112 can go right into South 5. Now, I think there's some issues. I'm hoping it's at the very end of the San Diego. I think it is. I think the cars that were in there were at the end of the San Diego one, so we'll see. So those are San Diego's. It should be at the other end. Set up for me too. Unfortunately, I was there. Just want to check, make sure it's the Tulsa. Looks like we just pulled stuff from there. Doing it again. Like a tight fit there. Some of these tend to move down, and they're not perfect. They tend to drift down a little bit too far when they're shoved. It's just one of those things. Oh yeah, I gotta remember I'm going downhill a bit here. Whoops. I got the counter going just past the San Diego cars. Yeah, the reason why I'm putting them at this end, you can do two at once. There's no problem there, especially if you're going to kick a bunch of cars, which is what we will be doing. That's why I set that crossover up ahead. I put that back to normal so that I can get over to the north yard, because I'm going to have to get over there eventually, but not right away. As far as where you're crossing, you don't want to cross over there. There's two crossovers. One gets you out of the south yard. I don't know what that screen is that keeps popping up there. It's a little weird. I see something that keeps popping up. It's a little disturbing, actually. Hopefully the stream's okay. Watching the stream while I think he's got a couple monitors set up, I'm not sure. Okay. So that's the crossover right there. Whoops, and I'm going too far. So now we want the San Diego cars here. And the live stream is up. Awesome. Yeah, it's too bad there's a little bit of a delay, but I think it has to do with streaming and doing whatever it has to do to generate the signal. It's just not like watching a cable TV show. Well, there's a bit of a delay in satellites. So we know by the special instructions, or the red area, it's not special instructions, there's a little red area, that there was something. This goes back to when I was not humping the last, I don't think. I think it was humping a couple sessions ago. But I had some mishumps. Last one went okay. So I'm gonna do explore what's going on down there. I think Tulsa's all fine, but or it should be. Once I grab these, then we're okay. So let me fly through. This isn't probably going to look pretty on the stream, but has a hard time rendering when there's a lot of activity going on, I find, but that's okay. So I'm hoping it's the last car. I believe it is. If I checked right last time. There we go. Awesome. Okay, we can deal with that real well. Oops, going too fast again. Unfortunately, I don't have the... I wish I could save a position in the air just like that. Actually, I can do it down on the ground, I suppose. I'll do that instead. Just so I know what's going on. Yeah, right at the switch. I know I'm not too far away now. So I can't really use the counter because I'm already in the middle of it. I think we're fine up here. I think that track's all to itself. Gotta get those cars later too. So sometimes the instructions will be vague. Right now there are no instructions. It's just kind of basically because I am the yard master at this point, or Mike, either myself or Mike is, depending upon who's, like I said the other day, whoever's in the trim usually has the call on what's going on. So once I'm clear of 112, I can basically tell him okay to hump. That's what he's asking for now. So I'm giving him all but San Diego. Just so he can get going, and I should be out of his hair. And yeah, he's coming up to it. As you can see, these the hump controllers starting to pop up. So all the hump is clear now. And I'll plop that one down. I guess I could have kept that there, but let's shift it down there. Fine there. Yeah, see where those cars are. I know I can take a look on the list. Okay, they're up at the north end. All right. Well, yeah, I got an idea then on that. So what I'll do, I'm going to make sure the ladder is cleared. Not that it's going to go that far, but I don't want it running into the hump. Or to the bulls, I should say. Especially with the hump going. But it's not going to go that far. But what I want to do is I want to kick this car way out of here. it says the uncoupling bar is active. All I want to do at this point is, I'm not going to be able to gain enough momentum, but I wanted, if I was further back, I could probably gain some momentum and stop the kick right about here, but that's okay. I just want to get it past this switch now. Light now it turns yellow. And you can see the hump at the other end is going. Slowly coming to a stop. I'm going to go down here now. So we saw the Tulsa car. There we go. So I'll pull the pin right there. That'll gain a bunch of momentum. It's got a ways to go, so. Now what I usually do is when I don't know the length, although this isn't going to be an issue, I just do it as a safety precaution. I put in, not so much here actually, going down there is not so bad actually, so I can keep that normal because it heads to R11, which is fine. It's not going to head that far anyways, so. Now the speed control should be on. Last I checked. And sure enough, there we go. It's just settling down. Boy, this mouse wheel is irritating me. I don't know why it pulls back like that. So you can see his string of cars are right there coming up to the hump. Ready to go down. So now we're waiting for the yellow tank. So we do have the one pass car. We might actually be able to kick that if there's enough room. Which there might be, I'm not sure, I can't quite tell. Looks like it's pretty close to the ladder, so unfortunately, probably not. So again, this is one of these things is these are long and drawn out. You'll find. I'm not going to try not to repeat too much. We've already done one of these already, so this will probably be the last trim one. Here's the end right here, just as I'm speaking. There's the Tulsa cars. So. And that'll roll a little bit, which is perfect. Especially if no more cars are at it, but there will be. But if you're going uphill, you want to get it fairly close. But not too close, enough that you can hit the brakes there, so that was actually probably should have got a little bit further. But we'll see. Hopefully it rolls enough. You can see there's a lot of resistance there. I think we're okay. Oh yeah. Already past the cars, so that's perfect. So I'll get this car, since I'm going over to the north departure, I'll get that car out of there. And I think he's pretty much clear to hump the next two, I think. I'll double check on that, but I think these were the only two that were concerns. I'll double check again. I know he's good for this hump, that's for sure. So the one thing I'll show, which is probably going to be something, you know, for Mike and is getting that actual new cycle to start appearing in the matrix. We tried doing it last time, and then I realized what was going on was that these particular three trains were still part of the old cycle. So these are the last three of the old cycle. And this is perfect right here, because once we get past the switch, we can throw the counter. So 102, he's saying, is going to be full. We got that. That was another red flag we had set up, which is good. We could then go into yeah, you can go into Fresno after that. So this is good communication here. He's letting me know what he's seeing. Yeah, that's right. In fact, I could see 103 and 109 being very close. So we'll have to reevaluate it. Oh yeah, there's a lot here. So what we did there is, I think the indicators that we gave were what was going to happen in this hump. Now, .36 we're okay for Temple. 102. I think we put a red flag on that one, but that was something that was going to potentially overfill on this hump. But it looked like it's okay for the overfill. Full dynamics on, and then just let the dynamics do the job now. So now we got the one pass car, which is just looking there. Pass car is at North 5, and then Tulsa's going to be at North 4. Alright. North 5's already set. Start heading back. In fact, I'm going to fly over here. Put myself at notch 4 again. I want to fly over here and check what kind of clearance we're dealing with here. I mean, we're okay. My only concern is the curve. I'd say I'm going to take my chance on it. I think they've been pretty good to us lately, so... Oops, I should have... That was dumb. Come on. Worked out good. Yeah, I think that'll be okay, because that's where the coupler will be, was right around there, so that works out good. Tulsa, what are we looking at here? Yeah, we're looking at about 70 cars. I think we're okay. Capacity. As long as it's down the track, it doesn't matter. As long as it clears. So, probably, depending upon how things are, you're looking at estimating when the hump is going to end, trying to do what you can in the local yard. Now, we're in a pretty good position right now to start bringing back some of those cars that are sitting up at the top of the screen there. However, at the same time, you want to be able to get in a position where you can pull cars while he's heading west after he's finished this hump. Ideally, you want to go with pulling two cars at the same time. See, he's already at 10 cars remaining, so I gotta come back now, and I'll let him know. So in that situation, I have no choice but to head back, because he's going to get into, or it's of basically my best interest and our best interest to keep those tracks free. Everything's okay. Yeah, we got plenty of room down there. Alright. So we had a bit of a backlog due to just trying to think what backlogged us the most was probably the Bakersfield area, I think. But we were backlogged for a little bit. Oops, I'm going too fast again. I always forget that I'm going down a bit of a grade here. Question I did see that came up the other night is why north departures used for eastbound and south departures used for westbound. There's a couple reasons. The big reason is the crossover here. So if we're into the north departure lead heading out. If you were to depart from the south departure, which you can, but if you were to do it, you would have to use the manual crossover on your way out. Whereas here, you just get a signal, head out of the north yard, line yourself up, everything, you don't have to worry about manual switches. The other factor is involved with getting onto the Cajon sub. Just the direction. Because you can get onto the Cajon sub. I'm just trying to picture it. It's hard to describe it, but just the way the arrangement is, it works really good. But that's the main reason right there, is that switch. Well, at times, though, we do make exceptions, especially if you're heading west. Often you'll have more westbounds than eastbounds, just because of the other. double-sided pass was going to go next, which actually gives us a benefit of trying to do double. It's one of the bigger ones, but I'm thinking about past Kansas City. I could go Kansas City, although that's not really necessary at the moment either. I'm not 100% sure if it's necessary just yet, but since we're headed down there, might as well grab it. Preferably, I like to grab something that's going to be preferably, I like to grab something that right away, grab something that is going to affect the bowl for him on the first one, and then second or anything after that I can go in, especially one that's not going to be hump 2, then I can go right in there. So I might be able to do a few trips here, we'll see. Okay, hadn't finished humping yet. Yeah, it's San Diego, so. Like he said, 102 is blocked. So we gotta do that 102 anyways, but let me see 101 for a second. Yeah, he doesn't have anything on 101 to worry about, so he's okay. Get those first, and I should have some time to get the other. I didn't even switch them. I knew I came down there for a reason. So it's a lot of communication, teamwork, like that goes in, and this is why, you know, being a two-person job, he's got the more relaxing job. As you can, you know, evident the other night, and we were able to play around with different views and stuff like that. But basically, he's the eyes at that end. Because I knew it was going to get close to overflowing, but had it been 101's not too bad. But then he said 101, so I took a look, and he's not humping 101. Our cars aren't going to be going to 101 this time around, so that's good. So really, as I said the other day, the trim is the one who's in the control. Now, if you have enough people and you actually have a physical yard master, he could be in the tower. But we're not quite there yet. It's hard enough to get two of us together. So we'll start the counter. East into R4 right now. He's got plenty of time, so we'll be okay. But still, you communicate and let him know that everything's good to go. So far, I haven't delayed him. And, you know, it gets to the point now, as far as available time, and we'll take a look at that just for a second. We got 100 minutes tonight. So that should be it. And sometimes what will happen is particular jobs end up getting shoved back. We're a little behind in Barstow, not by much. I shouldn't say not by much. There's a few trains that are about a few hours short of getting a build. And it's important that we do start getting the departures going after this for sure, because you know, once again, we have all departure tracks occupied. So that becomes a priority of itself. Tonight, you know, once, by the looks of it, like, we're just going to be concentrating on the 3 tonight. And it's 9:37 right now. I think we've hardly been 40 minutes, and we're already underway for the second hump. So ideally, I'd like to get to those cars up there after I do this. He's got about 70 some odd cars. I think I have time this time around. Not too sure what he humped last time. Actually, I So I just gave him the okay. He acknowledged with the roger, and we're heading back for 102. And 102, he's not humping. 101, that's blocking at the other end. And it was an overflow we anticipated. I actually forgot about it. So he's still shoving me 4, and then we're going to head over to the North Yard again. Get these cars off. I'll have to keep an eye on capacity. Now, one thing, when there's an overflow normally you don't have to worry about it, but I always like to double check and make sure that the switch at the other end is indeed set. Like I said before, normally it's not an issue, but you never know. Presumably it was the last car that went down that ladder, thus the switch would remain to whatever it is. The only reason there would be a chink in that is if somehow we overlooked an overflow where cars actually ran through each other. In that case, the switch would have reversed. Which isn't good because you had cars that went through each other, but what could get worse is if you split the switch. And splitting a switch is basically when cars are on it and all of a sudden it's going the opposite way. It usually happens when you back up first through the switch and it's not lined up properly, and then you head the opposite way, and that's usually when the splits will occur. Now, there was a post I made on the forum that I decided to remove. Let's just say that there was a few. I'll just say this. I decided it was not appropriate, and I was the one that posted it. So I let it. I just let it go. Said forget it. The message was received anyways from what I was understanding. So. But there is, since I got a little bit of time here. Oh, and I didn't see if that switch. See, that's reversed, so we're okay. All right. So he's going into the hump now. We're on our way to drop these off. So yeah, I got a little bit of time here to comment on that. Basically, there's in the subject I used the word entitlement. I'll say this much. I know everybody has their ability as far as how much time they can play. Everybody has, it's just like baseball players, for example. I'll use that analogy. You have certain baseball players that make more errors than others, and that's just the way it is. And I'm okay with that. I understand that some people may make more errors than others. The other thing you got to take into mind too is, and this I weigh it very heavily, is if somebody's contributing a lot, as in if they're playing a lot of, going back to the baseball analogy, if they're playing a lot of games for you, then what happens there, the errors isn't so much the issue, it's actually the percentage. So you got an everyday baseball player who, you know, makes 10 errors. 10 errors might seem like a lot, but in the course of a season, that's not too bad. I don't know exactly what the good number is, like gold glovers. Even gold glovers make errors. Everybody makes errors. But when you have somebody who's coming in from AAA or whatever, and they come up to, you know, they get called up and they get like 5 games, and so they get called up, and you know, they're, like I said, they might play for about 5 games, and then the 5th game they make an error. Well, that's their chance to really shine. So, you know, I'm okay either way. I'm okay with that person, just like the baseball team would understand that somebody new will make some errors, or somebody inexperienced will make potentially more errors until they're seasoned. That being said, though, I want to put it off to the other side. Just because somebody is, I'll use the baseball analogy again. You got your everyday players. You got your players who you know, are workhorses. They, you know, I can think of, you know, my team is Toronto Blue Jays. I can think of, you know, one of the pitchers right now, one of our top pitchers. They're talking about moving him into the bullpen, and he's one of the top pitchers in the league, Aaron Sanchez. And they're talking about moving him into the bullpen because, I guess, to save his arm, because he's young. They don't want him to risk injury or whatever, but he's pitching his heart out, and they're talking about moving him into the bullpen. But when you're in, you know, in every game, in and out, yes, it's reliable, and yes, you want to have that, but at the same time, there's always somebody on the bench ready to take your place. So my point on that is everybody plays a pivotal role, whether it be the starting pitcher or the closing pitcher, who might come in, maybe he may not be in, you know, a few games, and then it's down to him to, you know, to finish the game off, basically. You might put in an inning's work, shut him down, and, you know, he's looked on as the closer. Or you got the pinch hitter that comes in, and they do their job, and you know, whether or not they make errors or hit a home run or whatever, they're there to do their job. Or the pinch runner. Everybody's. My point about that is, we, as far as we try to give everybody an opportunity. Try to keep it as an environment. I try to help everybody that I can. I don't have to get along with everybody. It's not a big deal. And some people don't get along, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Sometimes personalities clash. Sometimes, you know, I can't explain it. And I know if somebody's listening to this video, and if somebody's not listening to this video, that's okay. Because it's not intended for that person. I'm not directing this little talk right now. I'm not directing it towards a particular person that we've been having issues with. However, I'm referring to it, In other words, the audience I'm trying to address here is not that person. I'm trying to address those who are taking the time, going through the YouTube videos, trying to learn. The point of what I'm saying on that is everybody is replaceable here. Nobody's being kept around, or we're not afraid to tick anybody off or anybody like that. We treat everybody the way we would treat it. And some people, we lose our patience, quite frankly. And when I hear certain things going on, I just like, okay, here we go again. So, bottom line is, I'm open to communicate with anybody. Everybody's got my email message. I shouldn't say everybody's got my email message. You got one of the admin's email messages, because if you got a password to our server, that means somebody gave you an invite and decided they felt that you were worthy enough to have the password to join the server. You may have been a server member before or whatever, but we made that decision to say, hey, I think we can trust you. So if you got a password, that means, oops, I didn't want to do that. Let me throw that back to normal. I want to throw this one. So if you got a password, it means we felt in our mind that we trust you enough that you're not going to drive people crazy or really, mess things up royally, I guess. So, the trust factor's there, or the chances are there. At some point, though, we gotta decide, well, because we want to give people a chance. We don't banning people or telling people to leave. I don't want to do that. The only way I'm gonna, and I'll be honest right now, the only time I've ever done that is if they continue to not listen to you, do their own thing, and just basically say, I don't care what you say. I'm doing it my way. And in those cases, we've had those people, and I've banned them. I don't think the ban's continued. There might be, but all the server blocks I didn't copy over to the old to the new server. So I guess those people potentially have a second chance. But there's no bans right now that I can think of out there, even though we have quote-unquote banned people. So let me move back into here. That's all I wanted to say on that. I don't want to deal with politics. I want to run trains. I want to run the server. I want to program. I want to, I want to improve. Likewise, I want members not to worry or think that there's a telescope, or a microscope, I should say, on them. Because that's not what it's about. What the heck did I do with this one? Temple. Oh, shoot. I think I ran into a problem here. Oh, yeah. I just realized that. Well, that sucks. So, the issue here now, and I said this last time, and I totally forgot about this. There was a reason why we needed to get some trains out. Because now we're screwed. Now, we're not totally screwed. It's okay. There's a way around it. Unfortunately, what it means... As I'm posting, I ran out of departure tracks. Shoot. Okay, now I gotta take a quick look here, and this is gonna buy me time or lose me time. Dang it. Because I was already down there, all I had to do was shove the cars down this way. At least that would have bought me. And I'm going to have to do that anyways. We'll live. Unfortunately, now I'm on the north departure track, so I'm kind of screwed up myself there. Okay, I'll tell you what. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kick these suckers. I didn't have too much room down there. That's okay. Unfortunately, it's the wrong side too. Hopefully the other's okay. I think it is. I think it's we're expanding on the so that's okay. I just cost myself a move there though, because I could have had those already out of the hump and then shoved back. Instead, now I've wasted a couple moves, but that's okay. So we'll get that out of the way quick enough, hopefully. So what I'm doing is I'm shoving the temples back towards the bowl, but I'm not putting it in it. To make sure everything else is okay, I've got to go down the line again like I was going to do last time. This time though, it's actually, well, it's not going to roll right away, but it could. We'll probably have to shove it again. The rest should be fine. Naughty. So you see what I'm doing, I'm riding the last Kansas City car. Past the signals. It's kind of a cool perspective from here. So there's a lot of different places where you can temporarily store cars and they're not in the way. There's one up by, well, that string of cars that we've been trying to get to desperately. Not desperately, but a lot of crap got put into local yard and it shouldn't have. And I don't know, there was stuff that was moved down from old and vice versa, so kind of made things a mess. Alright, coming up around the curve now. And there's our switch. Away it goes. As it rolls past the switch, we are fine. I think we're good. And just to be on the safe side, then now I'm looking at Kansas City. And yeah, Kansas City's on a standby. on North 2. This will make it 79 cars, but that's okay. Yeah, we're okay there. So we want to throw this onto North 2. This time we're not kicking, we have to actually connect and shove. And then we go into the switch here. We'll have to shove those cars on our way back or something. We'll figure it out. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that, what I was talking about before now. There's another thing. Oh yeah. As far as yeah, like I was saying before, the length of the videos and all that other stuff. One of the things, I mentioned this the other night, you can do a lot of fast forwarding to get through a lot of different spots. I'll try not to repeat too many things. Once we do this live stream tonight, I don't think we'll be doing a trim for a while, but I do have Kansas City on it, right? Check it. Ooh, yawning tonight. I gotta grab a snack in a minute too. I'll see where he's at, because if he's not that far off, then I gotta head back into trim anyways. And we're a little bit behind anyways, so I don't see it being an issue. We're probably going to be about an hour off, and they're all call times anyways, so being off a little bit, or projected call times, they're not the actual call times. Okay, now I can... I'd love to throw it from right there, but I wouldn't make it, so I'd have to go back. Yeah, 25 cars left. I'll be lucky. I'm not going to be able to get down there in time, I don't think. No. Besides, I got to get these out of the way now. So I'm kind of stuck in that situation. Roger him on that. I'll go grab my snack while once I've kicked these. So while I'm in there, wow. 3454 tons, really? With 84 cars, that's light. 3454 for Temple. Or it's not Temple, what am I talking about? Kansas City, 3454. I'll just leave the tons comment in for now. Wait, what I sometimes will do is go over to the Run8 depot and use the calculator there. But I don't feel like doing it at the moment, because then, well, what that does is it tells basically whoever's setting on the build status where we're at. So be right back. Plenty of room in north departure. Okay, I'll let you guys take a look at the hump while I'm taking a bit of a break here. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. And then I'll go grab the rest of those cars and get ready for the next trim. Hopefully there's not too many more trim assignments because I really want to get to local yards. So be back in a few minutes. Okay. Let's see whereabouts he is. I hear his engine. He still got a little ways to go, but we got time to plan our next moves. And so in this situation, what I want to do is I need to get ready for the next trims, but I got to get him out of the way. ready for whatever trims are still required. While doing that, I'm going to shove these down and then get into position. Yeah, that tonnage mark that I put in for that track, that all that's for is to know how many engines we're going to need. Tower again. If I could ever zoom in. There we go, that's good enough. You can see the end of him, so that's good. Oh, I hope I have them all. I think I lined them all up. Coming off the hump there. Now I'm not clear to go in just because he's done the hump. As you see, there's still some flashing going on because cars are connecting. So I have to monitor that because he's going to the other end. Before I do that, I got to figure out what it is I can or can't grab. See, you can still see some flashing, and that'll keep going for a little bit. At this point, I don't know what tracks I'm going to need access to, so I'm going to shove it as far down as I can. I shouldn't say as far down, just enough to clear the access to the bowl here. Let me just go this way for a bit here. Should be okay here. I already checked that switch. Yeah, I don't want to get that far, so in that case, what I'll do is I'll throw it down this track here. Not to say, it doesn't matter if it's fouling anything or whatever, I don't even know if it'll get that far, but just to make sure I'm clear of 101. Okay, so trying to keep track of which ones. We got Galveston, 34, 35. I think North 1 is due up next for sure. I'll have to check the other ones in a minute. Which is kind of a cool position because all I have to do is do this. I think I did it. Did I do it quick enough? Let's say 101, right? Yep. Or no, that's Los Angeles. got? 18, that's not a... Got 106, 103. Actually, the 106. What did that make out? Nice. Okay, good. So that's good to see. 103. 103 would need room for 5 if I didn't do it. And you know something? That just might work. I'm not trying to be lazy, I'm actually trying to be efficient here. Because I think we're going to be okay there. Let's see here. 107 and 110 he's saying. Okay, I'll say roger to that. Wow, didn't I do 107 already? I swear, okay, there's 10 left. I thought I trimmed 107 already. I see 110 for sure. Let me see 107. Man, I thought I did that. Oh, 17's fine, I think. Ooh, that's close. Okay, 7 and 6 and 8. 7, 8's good. 6 is good. 107 okay for one car overflow. 106. 106, 108, no cars this hump. Checking 110. So 103 is also close with 5. 110, it's got 14 cars. I think we're screwed there. Whoa. Oh no, it's this one. No, I ain't gonna do it. 110 for sure. Alright, so 110 for sure. Two has, yep, I think we're okay there. Oh yeah, we're okay there. What was the one I was going to do? 110 for sure. There was another one before. Oh yeah. 103. It's got 5 cars. I think it's just 110. 103, let me see what 104, 105's got. Nothing for 5. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Alright. So good. This is my chance now. So I'm going over to 110. That at least gives me a chance to get the local yard cleaned out. I actually want to clean that out first before I even go for those other cars. We're actually running low on time again. Not to say that we can't go over. 10 minutes away, but that's okay. Like I said before, going over is not a big deal as long as it's, you know, within reason. 110's the lub lock. Yeah. Keep looking at it, and then North 3. Oh, I haven't done North 3 yet. This will be the last trim of the night, and then I have to do some sorting. I was going to check the length of this hump, but I'll just get this out of the way first, because he's going to be out here in a few minutes. The night's getting longer yet. They should be. Seems to get dark a little quicker here. Remember earlier in the summer you'd wonder if the lights would ever come on. Ah, crap. Speedy Gonzales again. What the plan is next is once I shove this in, just take a quick look at what he's got here. Well, he's got the shortest hump of the night too, 57, so I'm not going to have time to do much. But once I shove this into the rest of Lovelock, which will be interesting because it's a due out. Well, it's not till 1500, but wow. 50. Oh, this is one of those freaking train. That's a train that forever has cars. So what I'll do, I'll connect those together. Yeah, Lovelock is going to be an interesting challenge. I think it has to be dealt with this summer before version 2, or else it's going to get hairy. In fact, I guess it would have to be done by the next cycle. when the waybills were created, now we used I should say, set up the TD3 data. And somebody asked the other day what that was. That's Train Dispatcher 3. So we had the data for 2008. And what we did was we were able to get a conductor. It was a territory created by a conductor off the Needle sub. So he had some great BNSF data. He didn't have too much on the UP side. So a lot of that was estimates. But we're finding, especially some of the logistics I've done, I'm finding that the train lengths and the operations are almost in perfect harmony. The only problem that we run into, just let him know I'm clear of the hump. The only problem that we've been running into is what it doesn't tell us is what the waybills are going to other or to build other trains. I never really went in too far logistics wise because really it doesn't, like, it's really easy for a grain train to be able to figure out what trains are going into a yard at, say, San Bernardino, or even the intermodal, and to be able to calculate all the feet and what trains go there and then put them on a sheet. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just check the San Bernardino logistics. It looks very confusing, but it's full of data, and it's what really led to some more recent adjustments I made. What we don't have is a good logistics table for Barstow. And quite frankly, we even if we had the logistics, we can't guarantee what trains would actually ship to where. We can always use the we do a lot of video research or whatever on YouTube, or photo research on various, you name the site or whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of sites that show rail pictures.net, stuff like that. But I mean, all that would do is tell you the car type. So yeah, you can get away with a few things, and you could easily tell that Vancouver, Washington, and actually it's pretty logical too, that Vancouver, Washington would be bringing in lumber from the Pacific Northwest. So that was an easy one. In fact, we got some of them wrong, because I noticed, I think it was coming out of Los Angeles. No, going into Los Angeles, I had empty lumber cars. It was really weird. It didn't make any sense to me, but it's probably wrong. But those are things that can be adjusted. But what I was getting on with the logistics thing is, there are certain trains that we really don't understand, especially when they run certain days of the week. Lovelock, the cars that I have right now, we're okay for a Monday. I think it runs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But come Tuesday, we're going to have cars all over the place. And a lot of times what happens is this old yard here will get filled with a bunch of Lovelock cars, which would be fine, except we have a bunch of loads. And if I'm pretty certain, I imagine there could be loads, but what gets shipped to Lovelock? And just because we have a train that has something to Lovelock doesn't mean that that's what's being shipped. We have a pretty good idea of certain car types, not all of it. We didn't research everything perfectly, so we just don't know. But my thinking on this is that somehow Lovelock is going to wind up being a train full of a lot of empties. And if that's the case, that makes sense. And it's probably too many cars too. More than likely, we got too many cars in the system that's going through to Lovelock, so we have to look into see what the TD3 data says the train length is. See, the TD3 data will show you train lengths, and there's no guarantee on the train lengths either. Yes, there's a conductor who's got, you know, all kinds of great information, but that doesn't mean anything really as far as the operations go of the actual logistics. So that's something we should look into. I mean, and you know, of course, I found out today that you know, my basically, you know, it's been a really cool day. I suppose maybe that's why I'm in a good mood or a forgiving mood, or I don't know what the hell you want to call it, but for me, it's for the longest time I was kind of in, you know, there was a time where I wasn't working for the longest time. Yeah, I was getting fed up looking. But you know, I would start looking again and be off and on. I would start working with temp agencies, and then I'd be at one place, and they'd grind you like crazy, tell you, you know, your work sucked and all that other stuff. And I mean, I was working warehouses. I had a Raymond Reach, forklift certificates. So I mean, these were pretty fair-paying jobs, right? And I was so stressed out by it because they were constantly checking my stats, saying I wasn't fast enough picking and doing this. It wasn't just Raymond Reach positions. You're talking about warehouse jobs positions. I mean, I'm not the most physically intense person, so it was really frustrating, especially because I'd commute for about, a lot of the times I'd commute for a full hour just to get to the job. That's not counting traffic. So back in May, and I was getting quite a few interviews actually in the spring. In the spring I was really starting to hit the interviews. It was really cool. There was one time where I had like 3 interviews in one day. It was crazy. And then eventually I came around. And around the same time, I could have been a part-time FedEx driver, and I was going for it. I was actually starting to go for part-time jobs, thinking that I could fill something up. Well, this position that I went for was a part-time position, and they only guaranteed like something like 15 hours where I'm working. The actual full-time where I work now is 35 hours. For the entire month of July, I've worked full-time doing vacation coverage, and it was supposed to end today, which I knew, but they already hinted that because it just so happened to be the 3-month anniversary of me working there next week, that my probation period was over, and they brought me in today, and they said, you know, yeah, they basically told me this before, about a week prior. They said, you know, we're very happy with what you're doing, and we think you're working out great. You seem like you enjoy it. I mean, you're definitely happy here. I says, oh yeah. And yeah, so they raised my pay up a little bit there, and I'm on full benefits now. Full benefits for me, full benefits for my son. I'm now full-time, so I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. Now, I mean, I'm breathing again. As far as I was fine before, I was actually, you know, I had some money in the bank at least, so I knew I could. Yeah, I even told them, I think in the interview, I says I can give you about a year or so of part-time. So there's no rush, and I even told them after they gave me the full time, I says, yeah, and I says, because they weren't 100%, they're not 100% sure what I'll be doing. They have to figure that out between myself and the accounts payable person, but who I'm actually covering for the most part this past month, because he's covering for others and he's off this week. So, but I'm going to be taking over some of the. He's been doing some of the machine shipments, which is more of a ship and receiver type thing. And this was the first week I started doing it, and they asked if I'd be interested in taking on these responsibilities. I said, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. There's stress sometimes in my job. There's, but it's really laid back. I mean, I honestly, I mean, I made my mistakes too, but nothing major, nothing too major, anyways. So, rookie mistakes, but no, I do my job with a lot of confidence, a lot of good feelings, positive attitude about my job. I mean, I start out my day making sure I got my customs paperwork, which I usually start the night before. I don't know if I'll still be doing the customs or not, but I'm definitely going to be the backup for that, because that's what I've been doing for the past few weeks, while I've been working full-time hours. But basically what we do is I work for a company who is basically sales for machinery, both machinery parts and actual machines. So the machine sales company that I work for. And what happens in this case, we bring in parts for the United States. I work in Niagara Falls, Ontario, so that's just next door. Actually, I grew up there. So, Niagara Falls, Ontario, where I grew up. My whole childhood was there, so I'm very familiar with Niagara Falls. That's just next door to me. St. Catharines is kind of like almost merged right into Niagara Falls these days. It takes me 20 minutes to get to work from where I live in St. Catharines, so it's a very easy commute. I love the fact that full time there is 35 hours. I have a 1 hour lunch. I mean, it's just, and the good thing about it is I'm getting paid enough to make ends meet and enjoy my job, have an hour lunch, get a little bit of exercise. If the weather's nice, I can go outside, get a little bit of exercise in. So it's nice. But I mean, it's been a long journey to get to where I'm at right now. I haven't been in this position. I haven't been in this situation since about 2002. Somewhere around that area is when I had the last job. It was 6 years long. Oh, I meant to get the. It doesn't matter. There's going to be more cars added to it. I meant to get the particulars of that, so that's okay. There's going to be more cars added to it. So that's the end of the trimming. Oh yeah, I thought I'd share that little story there, little tidbit. Okay, so I'm kind of halfway between Old Yard and local here, so I'm really wondering. We're at the 2 hour mark now. Let me just see how he's at. How many cars you got? I'm going away this weekend. Whoops. Windy going there just to bring it down. Well, yeah, 13 cars. I'm not even going to bother. Okay. I knew it was a short hop. Roger that. Bringing it in. All right. So, unfortunately, in this is the way. I'm not talking about my job. I'm going to switch back to this for now. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the local yard side of things, and that was sometimes the way it works. There's plenty of time available. There's there's a lot of flexibility in the schedule, so time will start getting added in. I'm gone this weekend. I'll be around tomorrow to some extent, but then I'm gone Saturday. We have a long weekend in Canada. I'm actually heading down to Fostoria, Ohio. One of the places I like to venture down there at least once a year, if not twice. Best place really to watch trains in North America, I would find, as far as number of trains and activity. So I'm headed down there Saturday morning, staying. Actually, I'm not staying in Fostoria. I'm actually staying in Tiffin, which is nearby. The motel that I usually stay at, there's two ones. There's one that's really cruddy. I'm surprised I didn't get that hooks in the place because there's a lot of talk about it there. And, I don't know, it's just crazy. So there's one right by the NS tracks, and I mean, it used to be under different management, and I think it's gone. It was kind of cheap back then, but now I think it's gone downhill. And then there's the Best Western. So we usually go for the Best Western. I ended up going for a Red Roof Inn in Tiffin because the Best Western was sold out. It wasn't a decision I made until last night. Talking about going to Fostoria, then I was talking about going to Kingston, Ontario. Then I settled on Fostoria and booked it last night, so that was all set. And so Sunday I will be probably spending most of the day in Fostoria, chumming around. Might be going to New Baltimore or something like that, or even Deschler, Ohio, or who knows? I might actually take the long way back. I'll have to talk to my son and see if he wants to take the long way back and maybe head around, like head through Pittsburgh or something, or even shoot Kirk if he wants to do that. Never thought of that. In case he gets bored of Fostoria and wants to take the long way home. Well, not so much the long way home, but it just something I'll have to look into that tomorrow night. But I'm around tomorrow night, but yeah, so there's going to be plenty of work available for Tuesday for us if we're still in here. I don't think I'm going to get around. It's 10:42. I'm just going to take it easy now tonight, I think. But yeah, this whole thing with the job and everything now, the great part is the stability and the money and basically security. And this is one of these jobs that they've had 3 generations this place, and business is doing well. I've seen some of the checks that get written in that place. They're doing well. So as far as I can tell, anyways. See no reason why I'm worried about it. I'm only the 14th employee in the company. I'm number 14 right now. I think I'm number 14. So it's small. It's big enough where there's some structure, but it's a family-run business. Third generation, like I said now. So it's great to see a great group of guys to work with. Couldn't ask for anything more. There's no personal stress. I'm not, nobody gives me weird feelings or personality differences. And I mean, that can happen sometimes. I've worked for small companies before, and I've had bad experiences in some really small companies. get some people who've got Jekyll and Hyde attitudes because business is either going good or bad. Small business gets hit a lot these days. So I've always tend to like working for bigger companies slash corporations because they usually have some quote-unquote rules and protections. But at the same time, what I found was the last great job I had, that one that ended in 2001, 2002. Oh, do I want to? Yeah, I guess I got to park there anyways because I got cars in the way. That last one that ended in 2001, 2002. Oh, Mike's back. So I think the last cars are rolling down. Oh yeah, that's, ooh, wow, that's really overflowed. Oh boy, I didn't realize it was going to overflow that much. Holy crap. Okay. Oh well, we'll deal with it. At least it made it. Dang. Wow, did Tulsa overflow? Too many center beams, yeah. Yeah. As long as nothing ran through it. Which is okay. Basically, a car would come down here and run through it, so that'd be okay. But so yeah, the last cars are just getting together now. I was just here in the last. Oh, I think they're all together now, are they? No, there's one more set of strings. So yeah, I mean, as I was saying, the last company I worked for, or not the last company I worked for, the last really good job I had, it was originally a somebody who was from Germany by the name of Hans Bayen, and it was called Bayen Corporation, and it was a market research firm, and I was there for, like I said, for 6 years, and then he started losing money, and he put it up for sale. And a corporate conglomerate took it over, and suddenly they had contracts that were lucrative contracts, and they had contracts that just made, you know, some profit, enough to make a profit, not a loss. But what they ended up doing was they got rid of all those non-lucrative contracts, and they kept the lucrative ones. And what that meant was my hours were heavily reduced, and I ended up, at the time, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had to quit. We started at 50, so just short of 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say 155. At least for me. Just finish coming together. So yeah, I've had some bad experiences with corporations too because of that. So, you know, this time hopefully everything works out and the business keeps going well, and I mean, I think the economy's still got a lot of issues ahead, so I mean, it's survived 3 generations, so hopefully, you know, that would include, I don't think has it been around since the Great Depression? I'm not too sure, but it's been around for a while. So anyways, I'm going to end this stream now that I've given you my life story. But anyways, that'll be it for the live stream, and we'll talk to you again. Take care.